today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Diamond Select Ghostbusters Egon Spengler. With this figure release, we've now got ourselves a complete Ghostbusters team. Egon Spengler comes with a series of interchangeable hands, a display base, a walkie-talkie, a proton stream, and of course, the PKE meter. Unfortunately, though, the one thing it doesn't come with is a diorama piece for the very large rooftop scene, as this is a Toys R Us or retail store release versus a comic book store release. Not overly bothered by that, I have to admit. It does have a choking hazard, as you can probably see, as it does have some series of small pieces. Spin around the back of the package. Other figures available in this wave was Peter Venkman and Dana Barrett. Dana Barrett we still have to have a look at. A read-up says, Dr. Egon Spengler was performing psychological research at a large New York City university when his funding was unceremoniously cut. However, a close encounter with a phantasm inspired a new venture, the Ghostbusters. As the chief architect of their ghost detection, trapping, and containment technology, Egon was well versed in what could go wrong if any of the devices were misused. But he was always willing to take a massive risk in order to save the city. The 7-inch scale figure is based on the 1984 feature film Ghostbusters and features multiple points of articulation. It was sculpted as well by Gentle Giant Studios. To check out more for Ghostbusters, go to www.ghostbusters.com. To check out more from Diamond Select Toys, head over to www.diamondselecttoys.com. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at Egon Spengler. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Now that we've got Egon out of the package, let's get a better look at the figure. Now, he comes with pretty much like the same variety of accessories that came with Pete, Winston, and Ray. I guess the only exception to that is he also comes with a PKE meter. PKE meter is a kind of a softer rubber, which is good, especially with these little side extensions. Would worry that these would break, but no, a nice soft rubber. And then you can go ahead and get the PKE meter in his hand. This may not be the suitable hand, but don't worry, he does come with other hands available. You can have them displayed like that. Really, aside from that, and there's just a closer look at the PKE. Aside from really that, all the other accessories are standard with all the figures. Now, you get a display stand with Egon. If you got these store releases, you would have got the display stand. If you got the comic book store releases, you would have got the diorama piece. Again, I'm not overly devastated that I don't get the diorama piece. It would be kind of cool to kind of see it, you know, completely together, but truthfully so, I would have absolutely no place to put it in the house. Some of the other things, though, he comes with a walkie-talkie, which all the other Ghostbusters did come with. And that fits right into his holster. Everything else we'll basically discuss in a second. But let's have first a look at the figure itself. Now, really, he uses pretty much the exact same body as Ray and as Winston. I mean, really, he does share the same body as Pete, even though Pete's got a variation to the lower leg area. Other than that, though, I mean, it's the same figure. But somehow, though, just somehow, even though it's the same body mold, I just feel like these are so much better figures than what Mattel was releasing. Mattel, same thing. They were giving us the same body molds, but just overall disappointing figures. These are leaps and bounds better than what Mattel was releasing. Let's have a look at Egon's face, which, no denying that looks like Egon. Looks like I've got just a little bit of paint that might have come off a bit of his nose. That's a bit of a shame. But yeah, definitely a good likeness to Egon. Now, they went the route of not giving him lenses in the glasses, which I think is a smarter route. Mattel, and not to compare back and forth, Mattel opted to give him a plastic that covered over his eyes. It distorted the look and it ended up looking more like artificial. These, on the other hand, because they don't have glass actual lenses going on there, you can get a better look for what Egon's eyes will look like. You could take the glasses off, but really, the glasses speak to Egon's character. I would not want to take them off because especially, it looks like they're adhered on. You wouldn't want to take them off and then have problems they try to get them on later. Differences also, he has the Spengler name patch as opposed to the other Ghostbusters. Other than that, though, it's the tried and true go-to figure base for all the figures. The Proton Pack, very coolly detailed. Coolly detailed? Probably just making up words, but smaller things like danger and little warning labels are all on the Proton Packs. Immaculately detailed. There is a section on the side, and I didn't actually mention this for Peter, but there's a little section on the side where the ghost trap could go onto. Just right there. I think, was it Ray the only one that came with the proton, or with the ghost trap? I feel like it might have been Winston. He's got the hose also that comes down from his belt that attaches to the front of his leg. Little loops and hooks and stuff like that on his belt. The Proton Pack, theoretically, you could remove. The way it's strapped on, there's really no correct way to get it off other than if you just kind of cut it and removed it. I mean, I would have saw Mattel's re-releases of, like, you know, We're Here to Believe You versions of the Ghostbusters and then the Courtroom Ghostbusters. They just weren't great figures to start off with. That giving this license to the right company, like Diamond Select, I feel like figures like that could now be released, and I would be very accepting of it. I'd love to see more Ghostbusters. I mean, we've got all 4 Ghostbusters now in their Ghostbuster outfit. I'd like to see other stuff. I mean, they pretty much have like the heads. You know, love to see maybe Ghostbusters 2 outfits. The gray variation outfits that they wore at one point in Ghostbusters 2. You know, these slime blowers. I mean, they really could just give us the same figures, and I would be extremely happy. The wand comes off the same way. There's like a little clip on the side here. Just a little, like a little ledge. And it clips. The hose sometimes gets in the way of things, but the wand does clip to the back of the Proton Pack. Sometimes you do have to struggle to get it on there, but for the most part, it goes on there pretty easy. No issues there. The Proton wands also do come with the stream that we've seen with the other Ghostbusters. Now, Wave 1, I think there was an issue where these little plugs weren't included with the initial releases. Wave 2 does have them, and you just simply take them and you clip it just to the edge there. Just to the edge. Seem to have a little harder time getting that on than I did with Peter's. Let's try it again. I'm doing this while holding the figure, which is probably not the smartest way to go, but there you go. You can attach the proton stream, but it does come off from time to time. It's really only just because the design of the proton wand, you've got that little clip that's right on the edge of it. It doesn't give a lot of clearance, although there's, see that little hook? See that little notch there? That notch has to go over top of it. It goes on there, but I mean, it does sometimes come off though. You can display it like that. I probably won't display them with the proton streams, so by virtue of the idea that they've included these now, I probably won't display them with it anyways. I'll probably display the Ghostbusters, maybe Egon with the PK meter in hand more so. So we'll just take that off. And we'll just attach that back to the Proton Pack. As with the other Ghostbusters too, Egon comes with a multitude of different hands. Comes with 4 total of the flesh-colored hands, or non-gloved hands. And he does also come with the same gloved hands as the other Ghostbusters too, complete with the extra little sleeve section, or the extra rolled over cuff area of the glove that would go over top of the sleeve. Just put that to the side. Actually, you know what? Just for giggles, I mean, we've already had a look at all the Ghostbusters. So there's Egon. And reaching off to the black hole where apparently I'm keeping all the Ghostbuster figures currently. Reaching off camera, just getting his proton wand in place. Bear with me, bear with me. Spot will bring in, there we go. There's Pete Venkman. Get his feet to stay, Peter. There we go. And the other Ghostbusters we already had a look at. There is Ray Stantz. Probably need to get myself some more display stands. And there's Winston Zeddemore. There are all 4 Ghostbusters. Poor Egon has fallen over. Like again, these wands don't always stay in place, but presumably so. Once you've got them on display, you can put the proton wands on their back. And of course, on a flatter surface, not so much a fabric surface where Spot does his reviewing, you could probably get them standing a little bit better. But thank goodness we got extra display stands to kind of go by. So there are all 4 of the Ghostbusters now finished. You can see though how they have all the same leggings. Peter is the only one that has the longer legs. Also, let's give Winston his hand back. There we go. Very happy with these figures. I mentioned this, I think, during the time I did the review of Ray Stantz, that this could be one of my favorite lines for 2016. If I can, again, get them to properly stand. But this is probably one of my favorite toy lines from this year so far. It just really goes to show that we are giving, when you give the right property to the right toy company, that's really when you got magic happening. And I think Diamond Select was the right company to be handling and overseeing a licensing like Ghostbusters. Articulation would be really no different than the other Ghostbusters that we had a look at. So Egon's head is on a ball joint. Hinged joint shoulders. Rotate all the way around. He does have an elbow point, but you do have to figure out where the bend is. Like the bend is on the interior, so make sure you're bending the arm there. It also does rotate that forearm section. He has a rotation and hinge in the hand. A ball joint torso. And legs with a forward and back motion. Top swivel cut thigh. A double hinge knee. And a hinge and pivot in the foot. Really, actually, you know what? Something else I should have mentioned too. If you look at Ray, it's not 100% really the same body, because if you look at the opening top of the outfit that they wear, Egon's opening is a little bit bigger than Ray's. Something else, actually, something else I should have pointed out too. Let's have a look at, yeah, see, Winston's got a very similar situation, but he's got the zipper kind of sticking out from the top. And let's have a look at Peter. Again, display stands. I should have really got these guys all on display. You know what? Let's get them all on display stands. There we go. At least then I can get them standing up. There we go. Alright, so now we got Egon in place. Yeah, it actually looks like they all have variations to their openings, if you want to call it, right where their collars are. They do vary a slight bit from one to the other. I am so happy to be a Ghostbuster fan. No, not because the remake is coming out, which kind of still iffy on the fence about that one, but I'm really happy that Diamond Select are giving us Ghostbuster figures. This is Wave 2, and really the only other figure that we have to look at from Wave 2 is Dana Barrett. A review of her will be right around the corner. If you're a fan of Ghostbusters and you haven't picked these figures up, really, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Cats and dogs living together in mass hysteria? No. Go to your local comic book stores, or in this case, you can go to your local retail stores, and you can find the figures depending on whether you want them with or without the diorama pieces. Today we were having a look at really the final Ghostbuster, but it doesn't mean we're going to finish the Ghostbuster reviews. Nope, there's still one more. But today we were having a look at Egon Spengler. Stay tuned, guys. Like Spot said, the review of Dana Barrett will be coming up right around the corner. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.